my name is Sven Kirrmann. I'm policy advisor at NaturStromHandel, a green energy supplier. I want to talk to you about political communication in general and especially for citizen energy projects. Besides a short overview of our company, I will speak about getting relevant information, how to organize your interests, and how you can reach more impact if you form an alliance. On this first agenda slide, you see some facts and figures about NaturStromHandel. There are two main things you should keep in mind. First, NaturStromHandel was founded in 1998. This means directly after the liberation of the energy market in Germany. At this time, there were no structures for independent energy supplies at all. So we had some very struggling years in the beginning and therefore know how to fight against the outdated energy structures, and that you have to stand up for your own interests. And second, we were founded by some members of the environmental movement and had therefore, from the beginning, very close ties to citizen energy projects, which we tried to deepen in the common years, in the following years. Thus, our vision was from the beginning a 100% decentralized and citizen-driven renewable energy system. This is why we work in a lot of our projects with energy corporations as partners. We build solar and wind parks together. We buy green electricity from local projects, and we realize regional electricity tariffs or tenant electricity tariffs with them. And we have also own team in our company for such corporations. These colleagues not only organize our work with citizen energy cooperatives, they also speak to the normal people on site and try to win them for our work and the projects. So far to our company and our roots at NaturStrom, but now to our learnings and tips that I will give to you. First part and first theme is information. Only if you are well informed, you know which problems may come up with your project, who are the main players on this topic, and which arguments are relevant. And more importantly, only if you're well informed, you will be taken seriously by the other players in the discussions. So you need to get an overview over the discussion about your project or topic. First thing is to identify the target group. Do you want to convince politicians, local expert groups, or all of the citizens? And which media channel can you use for this relevant focus group? In most citizen energy projects, regional media is absolutely crucial. So try to get in contact with local journalists and the editors. Another way is social media. It's also an important part of opinion forming processes, so you can use them to spread your own topic informations, but also to watch discussions of other people and other actors about this relevant project or your theme which you try to establish. When it comes to social media, I personally prefer Twitter as the most political social network, but there are many other platforms where you can share and gather information. So it's up to you which is the best option for your relevant task. And maybe another point, a last point regarding information management to your project are experts. Ask them to understand relevant discussions or topics. Use them to get credibility and authority, for example, in information workshops or discussion panels. You don't have to know everything by yourself. You have to know who to ask. That's an important point. Another big theme, you not only have to know the relevant discussions regarding your project, you have to take a stand for it. You have to influence, otherwise it won't do anyone for yourself. You have to do it by yourself. So try to get in contact with the relevant politicians, or better yet, with the employees of the representatives or the people in the administration. They really do the work, and their schedule isn't as full as the one of the people in the front row, so you can get easier access. Of course, you have to win the local communities. So try to be very open, share many informations from the beginning, and try to get in dialogue, for example, via specialized events or via the local press, which is a very good multiplicator. Produce relevant material by yourself and build a website or a blog. If you let others lead the discussion, you have to deal with a lot of rumors and false informations. So it will be very hard to get acceptance. So always be the first and be very open to your audience. Another way to get more visibility than the direct dialogue is to act together with other partners and organizations. With this, you can increase the power of your idea. If you have a political topic, for example, you can start a campaign together and address this topic together. If you want to realize a project on site, you can reach a lot more people if you have networks or partners. You can't overcome traditional structures and debates alone. You need a movement. You need strength together. Therefore, petitions are a very good possibility to show the big support about your topic or project. Petitions you can do online, and so it's very easy to access, and you can get a lot of backing from not only the local population, but a bigger audience. You can try to organize demonstrations or events, so you get to be seen on site and in the streets. And with social media, you can reach over the local population and get a lot of more visibility. But if you do social media, you have to do it regularly. You have to produce good content, otherwise it won't be seen and it won't be credible. So these were some learnings from our political campaigning and from our work with citizen energy cooperatives in the last years. An important conclusion is citizen energy is crucial to energy transition and to climate protection. But it won't work by itself. You will have many resistance in your work, from local citizens as well as from political regulations or outdated companies. They all aren't in favor of citizen energy because they harm their own interests. But someone has to change the world to renewables, and you have a lot of damn good arguments. So use them and try to partner up with the people on site. Citizen energy lives by people, so try to include as many women and men as you can. An energy system with less pollution, less harm, and more possibilities for people lies within reach if it's possible. So let's start it together. Thank you for your attention, and goodbye.